Hello, and welcome to our Thursday reflection. We begin with two short readings. The first is from the Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 1. Many have undertaken to draw up an account of the events that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who from the beginning were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. With this in mind, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, I too decided to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may know the truth concerning the things about which you have been instructed. And the second reading is from the Gospel according to St. John, chapter 20. Now Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written so that you may come to believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that through believing you may have life in his name. And as always, we thank God for his word. Two short readings, one from the very beginning of the Gospel according to St. Luke, and the other forming what was probably the original ending of St. John's Gospel. We are almost at the end of our Jesus 100 book. We have read and reread familiar stories known to us perhaps from our childhood. We've looked at what Robin Gamble has to say about them, about his thoughts and his reflections. And now, at number 99 out of 100, he challenges us with the question, but is it true? Do we believe that Jesus did that he said that, and that this is what happened? We live in a time of fake news, conspiracy theories, and a great deal of cynicism, people finding it difficult to believe that truth is to be found anywhere. Not the kind of truth on which you can build your life, yet that is what Jesus asks us to do. Not just to believe, but to build our lives on him, on the one who claims to be the truth. Well, let's start with some facts. The existence of many of the people mentioned in our Gospels, people like Jesus himself, Pontius Pilate, Herod, Caesar, and others. These are lives that are documented elsewhere outside our Bibles. They are real people. It's not a fairy story. And then think about the disciples. The Gospels make it quite clear that they were a motley crew with as many faults as virtues, and people who were very afraid. And yet they were prepared to go out and preach the good news, to defy the Roman authorities, and there are many of them whom we know faced a martyr's death. I don't think they would have been prepared to do that for something they knew to be a lie. At the beginning of his gospel, as we heard, St. Luke tells us that he has examined what other people have written, and we know that to be true because he uses a lot of the material from St. Mark's gospel. But he also tells us that he has gone to the trouble of interviewing eyewitnesses to find out more. And he has his own information there in Luke, not to be found in the other Gospels. He's investigated for himself and written an orderly account. And he's done so in order that we may know the truth. Towards the end of the Gospel according to St. John, we heard that Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples. But the information which John decided to include in the Gospel is there so that we may come to believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and through believing we may have life in his name. Believing. And it is a matter of faith. It is my faith. And over the years, as I have stepped out in faith, things have happened which have convinced me of its truth. But it is a decision we have to reach as individuals. During the last 99 days, we have been asked to read these stories in order to help us find Jesus, follow him, and endeavour to be like him. But only you know if it's helped you to do just that. Many years ago, I directed a play in Holy Trinity Church, a play called The Vigil. The play is set in a courtroom and designed to offer evidence as to whether the resurrection really took place. At the end of the play, the judge addresses the audience who represent the jury and says to them, "Your duty, ladies and gentlemen, is reduced to finding one answer. Why was the tomb empty on the third day? And in this search, no one can help you, for you are created to labour on the truth and carry the burden of making your own decision. Only deep reflection can guide you to a just verdict." Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you made your decision?